Howdy folks, Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. Today we're going to do our update for the first edition AD&D campaign that we have going here. And because I think we again had to skip a week, we had people out, so we had to skip another week. But we did play last Friday, and I'm just getting around to doing the update for it, because we're going to play again tonight. So I wanted to stay on top of it. So the last session, our group had, if you remember from the previous update, our group had traveled back to the Temple of Elemental Evil. They had camped outside, and that's where they stopped, so that we could start up with the next session, which was this past Friday, which is where we start now. So, one of the things that they decided to do when they camped was the whole saga of Wendell the Dirty, as I spoke about in the last update, which our party had been the cause of his demise, and supposedly, I mean, we're doing a lot of supposition here based upon the information that they have. The party's making a lot of, using a lot of supposition here, that the family has hired somebody called the Sons of Vengeance to enact revenge or whatever for Wendell's death. That's all that the party has to go on. So what they did was, they went back, because they buried him not too far from where he was slain, and the party remembered that, because of course they had a ranger with them, which helps. So they were able to locate where they had buried him and everything, and they basically sanctified, made it so that he can't be resurrected. They cast some spells, did so forth, that basically says he cannot be raised or resurrected or whatever. They didn't say this, but as the DM, I'm just going to assume that they were worried that if somehow the Sons of Vengeance or whomever were to find him his body first, his remains first, and they were to resurrect him, he would, of course, then say, oh yeah, it was those guys, they killed me in cold blood, blah, 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 blah. And, of course, our party doesn't want that to being a possibility, so they have now made it so he cannot be raised, etc. So there have been no sightings or anything of the Sons of Vengeance or whoever they say they are, whatever. But, nevertheless, it's in the back of the party's mind. So they did that, and then they entered into the temple again. They went the same route they've been going, and got to the room where the basilisk was the first time, and then after that, of course, they had the battle with the magic user and the assassin and all that, and the traps and all that. They found there was some type of an secret access vent, crawl space that they found that goes to another room. They went through that, and then they made their way into a room, down a long hallway to a room that has a big brass gong in it, with doors in the corners of this room going to other rooms. And they ended up alerting a particular group. There were bugbears in there, and melee, of course, starts, and they did their best to try and keep the bugbears from hitting that gong, because logic dictates nothing good is going to happen if that does occur. But unfortunately, the rolls went against them, and one of the bugbears was able to hit the gong. And of course, then the other doors all open, and shit hits the fan, because you had, in one room there was a hill giant with his pet warg. In another room there was more bugbears, and in another room there were ogres. And it all spills into this big room where the gong is now. and they're having to fight everything at once. So it was quite the battle. Now, luckily, our group they wisened up and started bringing some serious henchmen and helpers and stuff, men-at-arms, etc., with them. And that helped a lot of extra bodies and so forth. And if I remember correctly, somebody did go down. Somebody got hit pretty damn hard, I think by the hill giant, and went down. Didn't die, was unconscious, and was bleeding or whatever. They didn't lose any party members, but it was a hell of a battle. And because there were so many entities involved, it took a while. But they eventually lay everything out. They eventually slay everything. They took, if I remember correctly, they took one bugbear hostage, or they kept him alive to question him or whatever, and he was not giving any information up. He said, either you're going to kill me, or they're going. If you let me go, they're going to kill me. So either way, I'm dead. So I'm not telling you any. And you know, of course, I roll for these things. I don't just decide as the DM that, you know, I'm going to be a dick, or I'm going to be altruistic and say, oh yeah, I'm just going to give them some free information, or I'm not going to tell them shit. You know, I actually figure out in my head, I go, okay, what would a reasonable percentage here be for this type of being, you know, in this environment to cooperate, and given the idea that, well, he obviously knows his cohorts in the temple, and he probably knows that if he spills the beans about anything, or if they even suspect that he spilled the beans, they're just going to kill him. So he knows that, and so he's thinking, well, you're either going to kill me or they're going to kill me. Either way, I'm dead. And he's evil, so he's not going to tell this group shit. So they kill him. They do away with him, you know, because he just wouldn't say anything. So they didn't get anything out of him. And then they move on. I think they did they had to heal up, of course, and all that, and gather themselves. And they move on to the next room, and they encounter a room with a big ass troll in it, and of course that battle ensues, and they end up killing the troll, and that's where we ended up for the night. That's where we stopped, I think. I'm pretty sure. Because we had to do some other administrative, we had to do XP, you know, I had to give out XP, and we did those kind of administrative things. But it had gotten, we usually try to stop before midnight, and it was about 11:30 when we stopped. So we did some administrative stuff, and that was it. So they had to clear all that, and that, you know, that could have went a better way. You know, if they had kept them from ringing that gong, then of course they could have went room to room. There's always a chance that whoever's in there is going to hear the battle out there and come out anyway. But, you know, you hope that they don't all come out at once. But when someone hits that gong, all bets are off, you know. So anyway, they survived that, and I will say that one of the main reasons that they survived that without losing anybody was the fact that they had brought hirelings and henchmen with them. So that was a big help. So tonight we're starting back up right where they left off, right after killing that troll. And that's where we'll start up, and then we'll do another update next week. I am closer to retirement. I've got I want to say I've got 19 days left or something like that. And just trying to finish out this summer at the pool and close everything up. And then I'm retiring, and then I will have buku time to do a lot of different things. Of course, one of which is going to be doing YouTube daily. I'll be doing daily gaming, whether it's gaming news or commentary or review or whatever. I'll do something daily because I'll have the time to do it. So, I'm trying to, the other thing I want to show you was, so we've been using these for spell area effect stuff, and I just thought, well, let me look on Amazon just to see if they make anything like actual official that they use for this now, and of course they do, you know. So they have these now. Now I know you probably can't see that real well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this behind it, so, and then that kind of shows you, basically, it does the same thing, but it gives you, you get the radiuses, you get the cones, you get the cubes, you get everything, and of course it's because it's clear, you can set it on your gaming mat and then put the figures on top of it to show who's affected and so forth. So this was, I think, it was like $16 or something like that on Amazon. So figure we'll give that a shot and see if that's helpful. I'm assuming that's going to be quite helpful for us. So whenever I, you know, find new products like that, gaming aids and stuff like that, that I think you guys might be interested in, I'll always show them to you. So, and of course, this is probably stuff you guys already knew, and you're like, well, shit, we've been using those for years, you old man, you know, and I had no idea they even made such a thing. So, anyway, live and learn. So, until next time, we will catch you guys on the flip side.